Hello, and welcome everyone. Nora Ginty coming here from Nora Ginty Coaching live and on different technology because there's something going on with my Zoom. It just isn't connecting for me. So here I am on my mobile phone. I hope you can see me and hear me okay. I'm not used to doing it this way. I'm just having a look here on my computer. Oh, here we are. We're live. Great. So, if you are watching, let me know. Say hi, let me know you're here. And if you're watching the replay, hashtag replay, let me know. I wanted to come on today, like every Tuesday, for some bite-sized Tuesday training and just share some information with you about, all about this world of growth that we are living in and change, and looking at different aspects of the growth and how we can integrate it into our daily lives to get the results that we desire. Hi Becky, hi Kathy, hello Linda, lovely to have you all here. So today it is all about fear. Now, fear is a biggie, and I'll tell you quickly why I wanted to talk about fear today, because I'm in a mastermind group and we all did a 4-week meditation challenge, and that was all really great. And we all had our personal goals for that, and we didn't really share them. But long story short, at the end of the 4 weeks, it came out that everything that we were focusing on was working on fear. So that just caused me to look a bit more about fear and how it actually holds us back much more than we sometimes think it does. Because fear can look like procrastination. If you're afraid to make a sales call, for example, you will procrastinate and all of a sudden have 100 other things that need to be done rather than take that call. Fear can look like it's full of excuses, isn't it? Well, I can't do that, or not because I should do that, but and it's first of all about acknowledging that with love, but being open to receiving that information about where fear is, getting into your life a bit more than it should. So fear, when we acknowledge fear, when we do open ourselves up and say, okay, so this is fear, this is what it looks like for me, it looks like procrastination, it looks like excuses, it looks like fear, maybe it's fear, it's bold fear, maybe it's anxiety around making a decision, it could be indecisiveness. Have a look at what you perceive to be blocks in your personal development at the moment and see how fear might be attached to that. Because then with this acknowledgement, we can begin to make change. And that change is, of course, where the power is, isn't it? That you're moving forward then when you have that power and you make those changes. So if you can relate to, if there's something going on at the moment, and of course with the pandemic for the last 12 months, fear, there's been a lot of fear around, businesses and lives with the whole COVID. Could be around health. It could be around, will my business survive? It could be, how will I change? How will I adapt? They're all fears around natural fears, really, that come up with big changes. But the thing is, how do you react to that? How are you reacting to them? Are you acknowledging them? Or are you getting eaten up by them? So first of all, know that fear is actually a good thing, and it's essential in growth, really, because fear is a sign of growth. It's a sign of change. And with, that's a positive thing. So the worst thing that we could ever do is stay stagnant. The worst thing we can do is live in yesterday, because when we're in that state, we're not growing. So of course, when we think about change and we start making goals for the future, we begin to feel those stirrings of fear pop up, the what ifs, and all of that. So congratulate yourself if you're feeling fear And it's okay if you've been stuck in fear, or even if you're acknowledging, as I speak, if you're noticing, I've been held in this area and I'm realizing now that it's actually a deep rooted fear, or, something maybe that you haven't been acknowledging, that's okay. And it's actually the first step of my 5 strategies. The first thing you must do is acknowledge. So that's good, and that is positive. And congratulate yourself for that, and for opening yourself up to that awareness. So first of all, it's acknowledgement. Okay, and when you acknowledge then, okay, this is where fear is coming up in my life, and this is what's holding me back, or this is where it's holding me back, then you can begin to make change. So when we realize, okay, so I've been afraid, I'll take a sales call. I've been afraid to make that call. I've been putting it off for 3 weeks. There's always been other stuff happening. And basically it hasn't been a priority. Even though it may be a priority for your business, it's not been a priority for you because you don't like sales calls. You have a fear around it. What if it goes wrong? What if I'm rejected? What if somebody, if they're rude, and they're fears. So when we think about making changes, or doing something we haven't done before, or doing something that we're not used to, or doing something that brings in this growth, then we have these fears. So you can do 2 things at this stage. When you've acknowledged your fear, you can, allow that fear to hold you back in the procrastination and the excuses, or you can acknowledge that fear and say, I see what this is. This is a sign that I am growing, and I am going to take action, because I know why I want to make a phone. I know why I want to make that sales call. I know what I want the end result to be. I've thought about this. I have the goals in place. So I am going to move through that action, through that fear, by taking action. So this is using, being aligned with the action that you want to take. Okay, and that's all around how do you set, the correct goals for you. And I actually have training on that next Monday. I'll mention a bit about, I'll give the link. But there's training on that next Monday. But once you have the exact path, once you know exactly where you're going, then there's no room for and no excuse for confusion. When the fear tries to pull you back, you can just simply say, well, I know this is my path, and I know this is fear because I'm growing, and I choose to take action. And then you pick up the phone and you move through that discomfort and you take that action. And then, of course, you feel empowered. You grow as a person. And bear in mind that the opposite is also true. If you're on that repetition cycle of actually not taking action and retreating in that fear, then that is lowering your self-esteem, it's lowering your confidence, it's disempowering you, and actually it's really, really harmful in your life and your business. So another reason why you should absolutely move through that fear and take that action. And of course, taking that action, it sounds so easy. Oh yeah, just lift the phone, do the sales call. But what if we're shaking like a leaf, or maybe you want to do live videos? What if you can't even press live because you're so nervous? Or sometimes it's not always that easy. And that's where the next strategy comes in, which is visualize your end result first. And this is where the power of the mind comes in, because your mind doesn't know fact from fiction. Okay, there were studies done. I don't have the percentages and all of that, but one of the most fascinating ones I remember reading was about a group of people, and they divided them up. And one group of people actually learned how to play the piano, and they had lessons and all of that. And then the other group of people went through a process of visualizing learning the piano. And actually, when they all came back together, the people that were visualizing, I can't remember, were they as good or were they better? But either or, it shows the power of the mind, of visualization. So this isn't about just taking it easy and settling into science for a couple of days. This is about using quantum physics to get the results that you want. This is serious, you know, this brings the results. So visualize, sit and visualize the end result. Sit and visualize it. And have you ever done this before? Have you ever visualized the end result before it happened and then found when you actually came into that moment that some aspects of that experience were so closely connected to your visualization? Let me know in comments if you've practiced this before and if you see the results in your life. Or maybe it's totally new to you. If it's totally new as well, let me know. Pop it into comments. So when you visualize the end result, the neural pathways in your brain are making that connection. So when you go and make those things, the sales call, for example, your brain has done it before, your mind has done it before. It's not this totally new thing that actually is freaking you out altogether because you've done it before, according to this. So that's a really, really powerful exercise that you can do, and a strategy that you absolutely should use. I use it before connecting with each and every one of my clients, and set the intention that absolutely everything that should come from me to give my clients the top results they deserve will happen, and it always flows and happens as it should. And then self-care. Are you practicing self-care? Now, I think anybody that's in Dreamcatchers and follows me should definitely be practicing self-care. It's so huge. It's such a huge part of life, of business, because if you don't fill your own cup first, how are you supposed to expand and you know, help everybody else to fill theirs? Or, you know, that ripple effect that goes out around you. And again, self-care, it raises your self-esteem, it you know, pumps up that empowerment, it puts you at the top of your list, you know, helps with your confidence, so that when you go and take those bold steps in life, you smash it. You go out and you smash it because you know you're awesome. You know you can do this. You know you can visualize. You know if you hold something in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. You know all of this. So you can go and take those bold steps knowing that you absolutely can see those results and that you are worthy of those results. You are absolutely worthy of those results. So self-care, absolutely. Okay, work on self-care if you're not already. And a great tip around self-care, or, you know, wondering, should I pump it up, or, you know, is my self-care levels adequate? Then you can just look at your feelings. How are you feeling? If you're feeling stressed, if you're feeling overworked, if you're feeling any of these negative emotions, then you need to up your self-care. And often we think, I just need to sort out this timetable. If I had another hour in the day, if I just had this, if I just had that, scrap it all and actually do less. Do less, knowing that that is what is going to bring you the results. Hi, Katie. So self-care, right up there. And always when I start working with my clients, self-care is number one. Okay, where are we at and where do we need to go? Because there's no point me going through all of the strategy and all of the work with them until that's sorted, because you cannot, you know, work from an empty vessel. Loving my self-care routine. Yeah, I saw you, Linda, in your wetsuit going swimming. Oh, I really want to do it. It's definitely on my to-do list to get into salt water and have some swims. But yeah, I love following that journey. And then this is the last tip, and this could be actually the most powerful one that I find, and that's love your ego to death. Now, what is the ego? The ego is that part of your mind that tries to bring you back into safety. So when you're making big changes, so first of all, we get excited, oh my God, I really want to do this. And then we jump and we say, oh, I'm going to do it. And then, or you think about jumping, you're on the edge of the cliff. And next of all, the ego comes in and goes, are you sure you want to do that? and you're like, yeah, I really want to do it. I really want to do it. And then your ego mind is like, yeah, but what if this happens? What if you fail? What if you fall flat on your face? What if this happens? You know, all of the what ifs come into play. And this is where people, you know, it separates people who are darn serious about what they want and people who aren't really sure about what they want. Because if you are sure about the direction that you want, if you have those goals in place, then you can just simply, now some people try and turn off the ego. You don't go, oh, shut up. No, 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 I'm not. I'm going to ignore it. It doesn't work. Not for a long period of time. Some people will argue back with it. It doesn't work. So the best strategy that you can use with your ego is love it to death. Almost look at it as your inner child. Well, that's what I look at mine as. So when I hear all these, what if this happens, Nora, what if that happens, you can't do this, what if this happens, what if this one says this? This is the human mind. It doesn't mean that we're defunct or there's something wrong with us. It just means our mind is healthy and it's working in the correct way. And I look at it as, you know, nearly seven-year-old Nora going, oh, what if? And of course, it's okay to have those fears as a child. Often we don't give ourselves the same grace when we don't give ourselves the same grace when we're adults. So I look at that ego like nearly almost 7-year-old Nora going, oh, I'm scared. What if this doesn't work? Come back into the comfort zone. You know, you're safe back here. And then I love it to death, like I would a child. I'm like, this is not to death, of course. But you give it that love and empathy and reassurance. But the ego will die down when it has that. So, and then you can move, you know, forward and take those steps. You can make that sales call without actually trembling like a leaf so much that you can't get your words out or going live like I did way back in the beginning. And when my first live, I think it took me about 45 minutes to press play for a 2-minute live. And I had to cut it short because literally my mouth was like it was stuffed with feathers. I was so nervous and so scared. So thankfully I've learned a lot of strategies since then. But it kind of overwhelmed me then because everything was new and I had this big goal and this big decisive attitude. I'm going to go and I'm going to do this. So regardless of my energy, I did it. I just like, I'm going to do it. I'm just going to do it no matter what. But also funny. You know, those videos are there somewhere. I'm not sure exactly where they are, but those videos are around. And it literally, I could not talk. Thankfully, I don't think many people watched it anyway back in the day. But that's the thing. There are strategies, things that you can do before you jump in off the deep end, so that actually you're not jumping in off the deep end. You're just taking those steps to feel the fear and do it anyway. Yes, but it's to feel the fear, acknowledge it and move gracefully through it so that the steps aren't as overwhelming and so that you can visualize and get the goal that you desire. And that's what it's all about. That is what it's all about. So of course, when you're moving through this process, the very first stage of all of this, of all of your, you know, moving towards your dream goals is, have you got the right goals? Are the goals that you have working? Are they working for you? Or are you wondering, well, I don't know if this is for me. I don't know if I even want this. I don't know if I can do this. And that level of uncertainty in your mind is actually, you might as well just feed your ego day and night, because the ego loves that. It's like, oh, she's uncertain, let's get her back here quick, this is going to be easy. And of course, when you're in that overwhelming uncertainty, it's, you know, you'll find yourself going like this, I really want this, I know I can do this. And you're ambitious and a passionate woman, of course you are, but then you're pulled back. But what if it doesn't work? Well, I really want this, yeah, but geez, you know, I'm giving up a lot to take this step. It might not work. Stay back here where it's safe. And I think the last thing that I will leave you on today is The only thing we never get back is time. We can replenish money, we can replenish almost everything, but you can't replenish time. So stuck in this state is not helpful at all, and actually it's quite detrimental to you. If you know that you want more, if you know that where you are you're feeling stuck, or maybe you have a slight vision of where you want to go, or maybe a bold vision, but something is not working, it's incongruent with how you're feeling inside, then I invite you to sign up to the intimate VIP training that I have next Monday. Next Monday at 10 a.m. It's going to be 2 hours. There's a handful of women maximum coming into this training. And we're going to work through all of that. We're going to look at what's not working right now. Then we're going to set the new goals that are going to be in alignment. And then we're also going to plan, so you know exactly where you're going, so we get rid of that uncertainty. And also I've just recently studied new belief clearing techniques, and I'm bringing that for the very first time to this group of ladies. And also on top of that, because I just love giving things, the extended magical pond. So I recorded a very special extended visualization which connects you to your future self. I mentioned how important that is and how it connects the neural pathways and literally will design your future for you. And that's free as well, as part of the training. So I put a link onto the training. There's only a couple of spots left, so I will put a link up above here. You can have a look at that. If you have any questions, comment here, drop me a private message and ask away. I'm here to support you. At the end of the day, my success is your success. I don't want to see anybody in this group stuck. But certainly all that you have picked up today with this bite-sized training around fear will help you to take actionable steps now, even without any more training, towards a clearer vision of your future and towards building a better reality for your tomorrow. So thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure to be here, as always. Linda, I'm here reaching out to people on LinkedIn, and that's stepping through my fear. Absolutely, yeah. Social selling, I presume you're doing, Linda. Feel free to share one or two of the messages that you're sending. I'll show you the ones that we use, my side as well. I think sometimes when you have a variety, it works really well as well. But we'll be chatting next week. I'm going to send you my calendar now to book in for that one-to-one. Okay, so huge love. Thank you for being here. Enjoy the rest of your week. Lots of love. Talk soon.